Hello, my name is Hector Bastidas, and in this video I'm going to talk about the similarities and differences I have with most of the lead I have to work with. And I'm going to leave my family aside in this analysis because I believe that my parents and sister have the most influential talent and quality of my life. Um, in the work experience, in the work field, I have the chance to talk and to interact with many leaders that I believe have also some influence in my life. My last experience was with someone that I believe probably is the most influential leader I have to work with. I work we worked for around 3 years. Her name is María Pilar Cornejo de Lunauer. She was the Ecuadorian Secretariat for Risk Management, which was dedicated to the natural disasters management. And she was working with the government since 2009. Before her time, there were nothing about national disasters management. Actually, there was something called Defensa Civil, which was a reactive organism that if something happened, they were able to help in any situation. But it doesn't mean that they were working on prevention and making people more reliant, more strong, or encourage them to strengthen the skills they have in order to respond better to any kind of natural disaster. So when she took control of the secretariat, or the president told her to believe that she was the right person for that ministry, for the new ministry, she started working on the system, on the national system, focused on working on the people, on the infrastructure, on making Ecuador a safest place to live. And it was around 7 years, 8 years she was working on the ministry. She isn't working there anymore, but I had a chance during that period of time being part of her teamwork. And we worked, as I said before, 3 years, especially in the last period of 2 years. We have the chance. I have the chance to work closer to her, and I believe that she somehow recognized some talents I had, and I could tell and I could analyze our behavior or our and the way we used to work in each kind of situation we had. Um, Obviously, she's a minister, and she was a minister, and she had many kind of responsibilities bigger than mine. But still, we both had to respond, and it was a really nice experience. I could tell that she could inspire people to work better, to be committed to the work, to be as best as they can be. Um, they started as a small ministry with no more than 250 people working, and then now there are around 500 people and around Ecuador. And Ecuador now is now take place, and Ecuador participate in many important meetings, propose um, methods of action in the UN. For example, lately was the last year in Sendai in Japan, where we were the vice presidents of the Latin American Council. And so with less than 10 years ago, we were pretty much nothing, no one in the natural disaster world or society, and now we have an aim. So yes, that inspires me, and that actually make me proud to work with her. And during our work, I could tell that there were many things that actually were pretty much like. First of all, our mathematical basis. We both studied at the Polytechnic School in Guayaquil, so that's a polytechnic which is have a strong background in mathematics and analysis. Second, we used to, when we have a problem, the way we face the problems, or we see or we approach the problem, we were like, we want to know the macro analysis. I mean, what's going on as a whole, and then we'll have to make detail work. Or work in the micro. We like to focus on the details as well. In my case, of course, I could focus more time on the details, but she knew what she wanted, and she sometimes someone can think that probably the minister won't paying attention to small details, and that was a flaw with her because she actually pay a lot of attention to the details, and so that's another thing that we have in common, and the clear orders. I believe that if you want to be outstanding leader, someone who actually work with a lot of people and give a lot of order every day, the order has to be clear and concise and have to be focused on concrete result. And she was one of them, and I think I'm one of them too. I want to believe that, and I think I show it that when I have my work thing. When I have to work with 5 or 25 people, I be able to transmit the confidence and the the main point of the task and what we needed in 2 weeks when the timing, the circumstances that were involved. Why do we want to do it? Um, so the people could understand before they do it and why it's done. And sometimes maybe if it's not possible to transmit that because of many other factors, I can tell that the team I had, we worked sometimes when we were, I wouldn't say blind, but probably we didn't have walls. There were not a usual situation, and sometimes in emergency you don't have usual situations. You have to work on whatever you have, and because someone asks you to do it, not because you want to know the full perspective or whatever you want. You need to do your work. Sometimes you just need an order, and that's it. And yes, we do it that way too. Um, there were a difference of a style of management. Of course, I believe that she, even though she inspired a lot of people, um, sometimes she didn't have the time to be close to people. But yes, I mean, she was a really human person. I believe the major human person, very human person, very close people per person. But still, the way the management were different. And um, I don't know, just probably the temper and the personality of each other makes us different ways to have the same results. I believe that her years of experience in public sector and my years in private sector both were positive things, and in combination we made a good team because she knew the political momentum and I knew the practical momentum. And in the other hand, she will have different academic background. She is oceanography and I'm a master in finance. And of course, the way we see and analyze stuff, or the way we embrace the problem, maybe doesn't have to do a lot with our academic background, but it does when it's about numbers, and it does when it's about, obviously she knew a lot of the natural disaster stuff more than I, because that wasn't my field of expertise. And but when I have to talk about finance with her, I knew that I could um, gain her trust, and that's what I did because I was working actually monitoring the investments of the secretariat. And even though this difference and even the similarity we had, I think we made a good team, and it was a really nice work experience with her. Thank you.